I'm going to the club, stop being controlling, or I am going to leave you. If you've been in a relationship, I'd like to put money on the fact that you've probably heard this phrase before. And you stress, you panic, you get anxious. Fears of abandonment slowly start to creep in. Fears of, am I not good enough, creep in even faster. And the ultimate fear, am I getting manipulated or is this okay? I'm gonna be honest, bro. If there's one thing us young men are struggling with the most in terms of relationships, it's setting boundaries and having our own values, not saying otherwise. I'm gonna have a brutal one on one masculine conversation with you right now, just so that your future self, that future version of you who maybe gets into his first relationship, or maybe even helping you now sorting out and fixing these issues, conflicts, problems that arise from this phrase, I'm going to the club, stop being controlling. If you think this is okay as a young, ambitious, masculine man, you, my friend, are coping. We all know how degenerate, dangerous, unsettling the club is, even when you're single. If you say you have your trust in your partner to go to this environment by herself and not with her man, her protector, her leader, her boyfriend, if you trust her and you claim, oh no, Adrian, I trust her, I'm just more secure than you. I'm gonna call you out now, bro, and I don't call that trust. I call that a lack of boundaries. Because think of it like this. If you trust her so much and you let her go that night and you're just in your room reading a book, if you don't get one anxious thought, are you doing your job and is she doing her job if you do get an anxious thought? It's not your responsibility to feel uncomfortable and anxious in a relationship. I was aware of, okay, let's read this book attached. Let's read this book, How to Do the Work, to start healing from my past traumas. So I like to say I know a little bit more than the average person. And obviously, yeah, I'd watch content like this and I'd try learn from my friends who were also in relationships and had made plenty of errors. I'd try learn and they give me tips and stuff as well. If there's one thing for certain, it's that this isn't controlling and this is your values that you right now, my friend, are too scared to set out. Imagine you want to become hyper successful. You want to lead your girl to the finish line and have a successful business and let her ride that wave with you. This small event, this one random Friday night where you are locked in your business, you're in your room, you're probably recording content, and your girl texts you saying, I'm going to go to the club with my girlfriends and you have to let me go or you're controlling. And you in your room are like, oh yeah, you can go, that's fine, I'm not going to stress. And she sees that as a green light. Now you're in your room trying to work on your business, trying to improve your future life and her future life as well. But now the results of your business aren't going to be as of good because you know deep down you're not present. You are getting anxious, negative thoughts because you didn't say what was truly on your mind out of fear of conflict. You wanted her approval instead of putting it on her to make her respect you for what your boundary was in that sort of situation, scenario, whatever you want to call it. If this gets deemed across as controlling, it's not that it's controlling. And if she is getting like a very argumentative, is that the right word? Argumentative? Not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. If conflict arises and she's just like, no, you're so controlling, this isn't right, this isn't right, this isn't right, this isn't right, and it's just like non-stop, bro, then it wasn't meant to be because your values for a healthy, secure relationship where you're getting less anxious thoughts is that your partner doesn't go to the club. That is your values. And now you need to figure out and find out what her values are. If her values are going to the club every single Friday night and leaving you basically in the dust and hanging out with her girlfriends more than you, bro, I'd be pretty stressed. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. My business will go down. My gym sessions will go down. I won't be present at all in my day-to-day life. Ask yourself, why sacrifice that? Because as a young, ambitious, masculine man, you care the most about your purpose and making progress, whether it be in your gym sessions, whether it be in your business, whether it be even in your friendships and trying to create more masculine friends who push you to become an even higher tier version of yourself. That's when you're like feeling pretty happy. And as men, we do value peace a lot. I'm sure you value your peace. And if you're in this situation where your boundaries get broken, but you haven't really communicated that with her, I know you're living a pretty stressful existence. And you'll think of yourself back to when you were maybe single and how much happier and more progress you were making. I feel bad for the younger generation and for us men because year by year, we have seen in proven studies that testosterone levels are going down and down and down and down. You're probably thinking, oh, why does that matter with relationships, Adrian? Testosterone's just for building muscle and energy. Yes, energy and drive. Right now, us men on a macro basis, testosterone going down means we have less drive, means we don't, when something we feel like is wrong, we don't call it out because we are low testosterone. We don't really like see the point. The most successful men, you probably know a couple, I'd like to say, yeah, they're high testosterone because they have different beliefs. If anything, they have their own beliefs and they call out something that is wrong. And that's them living to their values. What's an example? Okay, I don't want to say his name, but you probably know who's very polarizing behind the camera. Just the fact, this is why I actually posted my most recent video, a full 40-minute guide on how I increase my testosterone naturally. And I highly recommend you check it out to be more of this man who is, I guess, increasing his chances and becoming more likely when he feels like something is wrong. He's not going to be weak and just like get the approval. He calls out bad behavior because that is your job. That is your duty. If you don't call out bad behavior, why would that behavior stop? If anything, it will get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, and you will quite literally get walked over. Just because your girl slowly over time would actually be thinking and hoping for you to disagree with her. This is the crazy part, because as the feminine is naturally going to test you. Maybe she's testing you, or maybe this is just her values and she wants to go to the club. But majority of the time, maybe she's testing you and hoping you call her out to see how strong you are. And as a guy, you're probably thinking, Adrian, what's the point? If she really didn't want to go, she would just say that. I understand that, bro. But when the feminine feels like the most tension, love, is actually from you calling out bullshit and sticking to your values. Authenticity. Who are you? Are you the guy who lets his girl go to the club because you think that's so secure, but in reality you're feeling so fucking anxious in your room that one lonely Friday night? Or are you that authentic version of you that whenever you feel a little tickle on your shoulder, your neck, your back, you don't feel too good? And if anything, this is an opportunity that has arisen for you to say something and say, no, I'm not okay with this. And you say it not out of fear of losing her. You say it because at the end of the day, you is all you have. I get the common question, Adrian, how do I impress this girl? What should I do on the first date? Adrian, what do I say? What do I do? What do I text her? All of that advice, which maybe you might watch now on YouTube or you see on short form, it's all bullshit. Because that's not you. You're quite literally becoming someone who you're not. You're changing your values in hopes that this will give you more success of acing the date, of having a good relationship, of getting in bed. So if we start to zoom out and if you have the goal of, okay, getting a long-term relationship that has not as much conflict and that you feel like a leader, a protector, more of these masculine traits, which is why you are on this journey of self-improvement in the first place, becoming more masculine. The split second you start watching and hoping for other people's advice, saying, oh, you got to say this to her. You got to do this. You got to do this. You got to do this. Is the same second you start to be inauthentic, because that's not what your values are. By all means, bro, by me saying to you, oh, if you let your girl go to the club, you're weak. That's my values, but maybe yours are different and you somehow magically see the good in it. But I know if you like my type of content, I know you lean more towards being the anxious type of individual because that's who I am, and that's why you relate to me a lot. You relate to my stories, you relate to my lessons, you relate to my growth. So I'm speaking to my target audience. We have to remember that. Okay, bro, maybe there are some more feminine guys who don't see the harm in it. But for us, for me, and for my boys, for our community, this is something we have to stick to our values and realize that, oh, I'm just going to say how I feel, and there's literally nothing wrong in that. And if she abandons me, if she leaves me, that is okay. Because then I will find someone who aligns with me, my vision, and my goals, and my boundaries. As the man, if you want to hold more of this like masculine frame, it is your goal to lead the relationship, and that is not being controlling, which gets so misunderstood. So misunderstood. Masculine energy is all about leading, direction, guidance, guidance. Your girl, if you really want a feminine girl, she comes to you to kind of like find out what's right or what's wrong. Even though she probably kind of knows that going to the club is wrong in a relationship, she's still going to test you in certain ways. So it's your goal to give her that clarity, guidance, direction. It's like, why do you think so many relationships, when you're in that like early age group of, let's say, 16 to 18-year-olds, always fail? It's because, yeah, the girl's feminine, but the guy's feminine as well. And then polarity is non-existent. The girl will shit test the young guy who doesn't really have much life experience, doesn't even know what the word masculinity means. And the guy will fail. The guy will get emotional. The guy won't give her direction, guidance, etc. The girl will say, oh, I want to go to this party, I want to go to this club. And the guy will be like, yeah, go, while I play video games and smoke weed. I want to find a statistic, and I'm going to do some research after I finish recording this. I wonder how many relationships from the age bracket, 16 to 18-year-olds, actually make it long term and be successful. We need to zoom out, bro, and realize that our value as a guy is a long game, and we are slowly building with life experiences, with all of the books we read, with our self-improvement. Because to become masculine in today's day and age, world, whatever you want to call it, has only become harder and harder due to the matrix, due to testosterone levels decreasing, due to us being told what to do by our teachers, by our parents, never having our own say, never doing what we truly desire and what we want to do. We aren't accountable. We aren't putting in effort in our own lives. We just rely on others to tell us, oh yeah, go do this. Yeah, no, don't eat too many eggs, high cholesterol, that's bad for you. Do this instead. Oh, if you let your girl, no, you're being controlling. You need to let her go to the club. You need to. Don't be controlling. That's toxic masculinity. That's misogynistic, narcissist, whatever. But it's not. Because at the end of the day, we all have our own mental health. And if by her going to the club affects your mental health, you're not healthy. You were actually healthy when you were lonely. Because you weren't put in this situation of being deemed as controlling, but also stressing that she's going to the club. This is why, if you're anywhere between 18 to 21 and you're feeling kind of lonely, you really want a girlfriend, but you also kind of know deep down, maybe you don't feel like you've claimed your masculinity back yet through hardcore self-improvement. I'm here to tell you today and give you the brutal advice that you should not get in a relationship as of yet. As much as you will learn, as much as you will grow because of the relationship and be put in these situations, you will probably fuck them up. And that's my opinion. You're allowed to have your own opinion. But think of it like this. If you're the type of guy who's consistently watching my self-improvement videos and you're constantly trying to learn from my mistakes, let's say 6 months from now, there's a version of you who wants to get in a relationship in 6 months, but there's also a version of you who wants to get in one now. Who is more likely to be in a relationship that lasts long term or longer term? Probably that version of you 6 months from now, because he's done a bit more of the work. He's tried to clear up his mental health to become more present. And when he's become more present, that allows him to pick up on mistakes sooner rather than later and not getting fucked over. Not getting, I hate to say the word, but yeah, manipulated in any sort of way. Changing his values. Feeling anxious. Compared to that version of you now who says, oh, no, screw it, Adrian, I just want to get in a relationship. I feel lonely. I'm kind of like craving intimacy. What you said is wrong and I'm just going to do it. I'm not saying jumping in a relationship right now is necessarily bad, because you will learn, and I guess you'll kind of learn the hard way, which pain does inflict growth. But you will waste time to a degree, because a relationship is a commitment and it takes up time. And if you haven't fully worked on yourself, if you can't handle being alone, if you can't be present, if you can't call out bad behavior, if you don't have a purposeful thing, business, gym, if you don't really have a purpose outside of the relationship, you are going to make the relationship your end all be all and put it on a pedestal, and your girl will actually lose attraction in you because you don't have that guidance direction in your own life for her to be in her feminine energy. What I just said 10 minutes ago, you need to be able to provide direction and guidance. And if you feel like you can't right now, that's fine, bro, because you know deep down where you're going. You know 2, 3, 6 months from now, you are going to be better than you right now in every single sort of way. Physically, you're going to be more jacked. Mentally, you're going to be more present. Spiritually, you're going to be more aware. Emotionally, you're going to be more grounded. And mentally, did I say mentally? I did. Socially, you're going to be more fulfilled because maybe you've made better friends. I speak a lot about instant gratification and delaying gratification, and how the instant gratification choice of maybe you jump into a relationship now, yes, it will give you pleasure in the moment, but long term, will it really serve you? Or will it put you maybe a bit behind? Like, I'm 23, bro. I spent my years of 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 pretty fucking lonely. Pretty lonely. But I'm grateful I did, because it made me attract my partner now. And I don't want to get too much into it because I do want to keep it more on the private end out of her respect. But realize that if I jumped into a relationship as soon as high school ended, I wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't. Who knows if I was to start this movement? Who knows if I had this motivation to share my lessons and learnings in every single area of my life? Who knows? This is why I've made videos about purpose. If you feel like right now you just don't really know what to do, I'm here to give you guidance. I'm here to give you direction. It's why I've even started up my private school community, first thing in the description, where you get even more guidance and direction and advice from me personally, with a discussion thread, with 2 live calls a week, and with pre-recorded courses. If you're getting the thoughts of, no, Adrian, you're wrong, I'm just going to do it, and that's the path you take, okay, bro, I can't stop you, and go that way. But if I was to give you a bit more actionable advice, if you do decide to maybe jump in one now, if that's kind of like the fence you're stuck on, you're like, oh, do I go in one or do I focus more on myself? I can do better, or is this the best I can do? What do I 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 do? If you jump in it, always stay authentic and don't be inauthentic in any sort of way. Don't act like someone who you're not on the first date. Don't say stuff which you won't stick to, stick by, stand by, and don't have like too big of an ego. Because if you have a big ego, you're probably like really unaware of attachment styles soon, and you don't understand how fast stuff can change. Like, oh, I've got the girl now, I've won, I can relax and be comfortable. But in reality, you're being more like avoidant, and you start avoiding her, and she's been anxious to you, she's probably clinging on to you, and you're like, oh, go away, being single was better. But then she starts being avoidant, and instantly, ding, now your brain's on, now you start getting anxious, and she's running away, and you're stuck in this toxic pattern. So there is a lot to learn, but I guess to try and minimize that anxious avoidant trap, which I learned a lot about in the book Attached by Dr. Amir Levine, is stay authentic, because the worst thing you can do is be inauthentic and make your girl attracted to a version of you that no longer exists because you kind of faked it. The longer time frame you're in a relationship, the more the mask will start to slip, the more authentic sides you will show to her just naturally, and just with how friendships, relationships work. Same thing with friendships. You can meet a guy for the first time and be like, this guy's the best bloke ever. Obviously, he's going to kind of just naturally be nice to you. Everyone's nice when you meet him for the first time. Everyone's like shocked. They have no other choice but to be nice. Everyone wants to make a good first impression. But as time goes on, the mask starts to slip and you start to show more of your authentic self. So be aware of that and be authentic from day one, to not make your girl attracted to a version of you that doesn't exist. The worst case scenario is if you're being inauthentic and 6 months go by, then you start to show her who you really are and she's no longer attracted to the real you and she wants fake you back. You realize that you can't be fake for your whole life. That's a task and mission in itself. How much easier is it just to be you? That's why I've been finding YouTube very I don't want to say easy, but it's given me a platform to share my values and just be me without anyone judging. So I guess that's probably the most important area of focus that I would say definitely stick to. But for the guys who maybe say, oh, you know what, Adrian, you've actually kind of convinced me. I do feel like if she tests me and says, you're controlling, let me go to the club, I do feel like I will fold. And that takes a lot of authenticity and vulnerability to say. Because if it was younger me watching this, I would fall in that category. I'd be like, I'd probably fold. I can't even look a girl in the eye. I'm gonna fold. So I don't really think it's smart just yet, because I'm not gonna have the strength that not only that she wants from me, but that I want from myself. For those of you picking that path, you're on the path of hardcore self-improvement, hardcore, relentless action taking of doing whatever it takes to become the most masculine, the most ambitious, and the most purposeful version of yourself. And for those of you, I'm going to leave you with an actionable step, and that's to start watching my content. That's to maybe even join my school community. Think of it like this. My journey, I've been on self-improvement now for, I guess, hardcore, 3 hard years, but I started going to the gym back in 2018. It's been a weird journey with lockdown, being inconsistent with the gym, sucking with girls, being locked in my house from COVID, all this stuff. Realize that I most likely have a lot more direction and guidance than you. I've stepped in those mouse traps that you're about to step in. And I know with watching content, you don't really know me personally, but to build a bit more trust, this is why I highly recommend you check out more of my recent videos, because I know, bro, it's the advice you've been searching for. The advice your current friendship group can't really give you because they're all really doing bad habits. The advice your parents can't really give you because they're still very old school and think you just need to work a 9 to 5 to save for a house. But that's not really how things work anymore. Your teachers are just alcoholics, if you know about them a little bit personally. High school teachers, at least. Fucking hell. It's hard to find this sort of advice. And yeah, you can say now, oh, no, Adrian, actually, we have ChatGPT. Everyone does. Do you really want the main connection of your life to be with a robot? Come on, bro. That's not genuine. That's not authentic. It just masturbates your mind and gives you the right answer every time. It doesn't disagree with you because ChatGPT has no testosterone. If you were to come to me and say something, I would slap you and disagree with you and say you're wrong. ChatGPT is going to keep saying to you, you're right. Ding, you're right. ChatGPT, is letting my girl go to the club okay? I'm pretty anxious about it. Oh, you know what? Jake, yes, you can let her go to the club. And if you're feeling anxious, just tell her it's okay. You can still, it will always, and I mean always, agree with you. Don't put your values on that or whatever you're going through that. Come to a guy who's been through it the hard way. Us men in today's world, like I said plenty of times in this video, keep getting weaker. And it mind fucks me because we all say, oh, it's too hard, it's too competitive, there's too many high value men, so why even bother? Why bother getting jacked? Why bother a relationship? All girls are the same. That is such a subjective thought that you say to yourself to achieve your goal of not putting in the work. There is a version of you who doesn't have these subjective biased thoughts and says, you know what? My life sucks right now. I'm not jacked. I have no confidence and I get no attraction. I'm going to do the work not for anyone else but for myself, and have hope that out there in this huge, degenerate world, there is a feminine, precious, gorgeous girl that will be mine. Because if she's not mine, she's no one's. That's the mindset you need to have, and that's the hope I hope I've given you in this video. For those of you in a relationship, set boundaries, be strong, don't fold, and if she gets angry back at you, realize it could be an early sign of incompatibility. And if you're going to keep going down that route, it's not going to end well, because you know deep down there will be signs that show along the way. For those of you who are single and are stuck in this mindset of, oh, I don't know what to do, I know I'm going to kind of struggle with setting boundaries and all this stuff, go hardcore on this journey. It's what I did. I kept building muscle and didn't listen to others and that would say, oh, muscle's not going to help you get a girlfriend. It's not going to make you stronger. It's just superficial. It's not necessarily the muscles, it's the lessons I learned away to building the muscles. The discipline, the work ethic, not relying on motivation, and just going on the days where I didn't even feel like it. That made me a man. The hours I would spend reading and trying to become more educated to make sure my future self wasn't to fall in as of many mouse traps. The anxiety, then me taking action on dating and getting ghosted, going through pain, all of this stuff. I kept pushing forward, and you need to as well, for the sake of your future self. Set boundaries, be a man, a masculine man. If this video has motivated and educated you, once you trust me enough through watching my content, which is all about self-improvement, masculinity, relationships, even like building the aesthetic body, I highly recommend you check out my private school community. It will be the first link in the description. I think it's really valuable for you right now, and it will basically fast track your self-improvement progress. Also, make sure to check out the second link. That's going to be a link of all of the books, my top 10 books that have helped me become more of a masculine man. Great knowledge, my top 10 favorites. Recommend checking that out. Also, make sure to click the subscribe button, also a little bell icon. Kind of like remind you when I do upload these daily videos. I'm posting every single day for the rest of the year, so you can watch them as soon as humanly possible. Other than that, I gotta go to the gym now, hit some cardio. Probably gonna do 40 minutes on the stepper. Good luck, bro. Stay strong. You got this.